You're listening to Daily Horoscope for your zodiac sign with Stephanie Campos. I'm your host, Stephanie Campos, and I am a practicing astrologer, psychic medium, and witch. In each daily episode, I covered a detailed overview of the astrology of the day and what you can expect from full moons to Mercury retrogrades. I've got you covered. And of course, there is always a personalized horoscope for your zodiac sign. If you scroll down in the show notes, there are always timestamps included for your convenience. And a quick pro tip before we dive in, I do recommend listening to your horoscope based on your rising sign for more accuracy. And if you are loving this podcast, don't be shy, leave a rating. Hell, even a review. I'm a one human show and produce each and every episode every day just for you. And your support means so much. Now let's get into the astrology of the day. This is your daily horoscope for Thursday, January 8th, 2026. All times are Pacific Standard Time. The first planetary action takes place at 4:30 a.m. when Mercury in Capricorn forms a sextile with the North Node in Pisces. This is taking place at 10 degrees. If you have any planets or placements around 10 degrees, you are the main characters, especially in water signs or earth signs. Now, this energy is super subtle. If you don't feel it today, that's totally normal. I would say it really is going to be dependent on if you have a planet in Capricorn or Pisces at that 10-degree mark, you're going to be the one who really feels it the most intensely. Mercury is the planet of communication, the mind, information. The North Node is what we're calling in, our soul's growth, and some of our destiny. So you could make a decision or have a conversation that feels in line with your dreams and desires, or maybe you make a decision or there's a contract that feels destined in some way. This could also look like a fated interaction or meeting of someone else as well. Now, around 10 a.m., the moon in Virgo forms an opposition with Saturn in Pisces. This is going to bring some challenges. This could be a moment of feeling stressed out, reaching a limit. Maybe there is an obligation or responsibility you need to take care of. Maybe you need to set a boundary. Maybe you hear a no when you are hoping for a yes. But this just is a moment where people are feeling a little bit grumpier or even disappointed about something. But that energy is going to shift pretty quickly because around 11:30 a.m., the moon in Virgo will form a trine with Uranus in Taurus, bringing a wave of inspiration, encouraging you to take a risk, bringing divine downloads, welcome surprises, and in general, it just helps you connect with your intuition as well. So maybe you are taking actions based on your intuition, and there could be some sort of unexpected change of plans, but that also feels exciting in some way. Now, around 3 p.m., the moon in Virgo forms an opposition with Neptune in Pisces. This energy is a little exhausting. You might need to resist FOMO and rest, drinking water, making sure you're eating nourishing meals, all very necessary. You might need to have a good cry. Sometimes we have this desire to check out or escape that really kicks up around this time, whether it's everything unfolding in the collective or something in our personal lives. This can also be a moment where we're dealing with misunderstandings or confusing energy. So avoiding making important decisions around this time is recommended if possible, but also don't panic if you do need to make an important decision. It's okay. It's just that we're not seeing things fully clearly, and maybe our own insecurities, emotions, and projections are getting in the way. Around 4 p.m., the moon enters Libra, and around 9:30 p.m., the moon in Libra forms a trine with Pluto in Aquarius. And this brings a really lovely energy for having deep and meaningful conversations, for changing your own thought patterns and shifting limiting beliefs, for working on creative projects and brainstorming with other people to come up with ideas and solutions that feel transformative or healing. And it can also just give you mental focus if that's something you need around this time as well. Aries, try to not let your routine and your schedule get the best of you today. It's really easy to overdo it, and maybe you have a lot of momentum in the beginning of the day and you're crossing things off your to-do list. But when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune, you might wind up feeling exhausted. And if you overexert yourself, it can even weaken your immune system. So really listen to your body and carve out time for rest or slowing down midday if and when possible. Taurus, this is a wonderful time to work on a creative project or engage in a hobby that you really enjoy when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. Now, on the other hand, if you are dating or interacting with a romantic partner around this time, it can be really easy to miss red flags. You're going to want to put someone on a pedestal or maybe even over idealize someone. So try to keep one foot on the ground and be curious about what feelings are coming up for you, but don't hold them as a truth. Now, on the other hand, this is Neptune that we're dealing with, and it could kind of sway in the other way. And maybe you're feeling paranoid or anxious about a romantic relationship. Do your best to not project your energy onto someone else. The fog will clear before the end of the day, and then you will have a better sense of how you want to move forward. Gemini, your personal and public life might leave you feeling just more exhausted than normal today when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. This could also be a moment where you are finally making your feelings known. Maybe something has been building and you're tired of keeping it to yourself, and maybe you let out a good cry or discuss those feelings with someone important to you. It's also possible that your creative or intuitive side is being noticed and recognized at work or by your loved ones. Cancer, conversations can feel a little wonky today when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. People aren't really understanding your intentions or motives clearly, so this is not the best time to make important decisions or have important conversations if you can avoid it. You may also notice that your mind is wandering and it's harder to hold your focus and attention. If you are commuting around this time or riding a bicycle or anything like that, make sure you are paying more attention. And it's also possible to kind of get appointments and meetings mixed up today. So if you're running late or if you make some sort of mix up in your schedule, just know it's in the stars. Leo, this is not the best day to make important financial decisions when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. You might feel a desire to splurge or order yourself your favorite meal, but it's very possible that whatever you end up ordering, you feel disappointed with. It's also possible for insecurities and feelings of scarcity or a lack mindset to come up, but just know that this energy is temporary. Virgo, it might be hard to discern what is fact and what is fiction in some of your close one-on-one relationships when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. Try to be really cognizant if you are putting someone else on a pedestal or overlooking red flags around this time. On the other hand, this can also mark a moment of having compassionate interactions with the important people in your life, sharing some of your feelings, or even working on some sort of creative project as well. Libra, when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune, it is going to be very important for you to slow down and to say no. It is very possible that you have reached a limit, especially with your ongoing responsibilities. It's really easy for boundaries to blur around this time, which is going to make it more important for you to set them and stick with them. Scorpio, when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune, this is a wonderful time to work on some of your dreams for the future. And what I mean by work is actually to engage with your imagination, because this is not the best time to come up with a practical plan, step 1, step 2, step 3. But you are an idea factory around this time. So be curious and follow your intuitive instincts when it comes to whatever long-term goals you have or creative projects that are on the horizon. Now, this could also mark a moment of fun or celebration with friends. And if that is the case, and if there is drinking or some sort of indulgent behavior involved, You could definitely wind up with a hangover, so drink your water and drink sparingly. Sagittarius, you might be feeling just a little bit more sensitive and tender when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. This can also kind of cast a fog over some of your long-term goals for the future or even current projects you're working on at work. This is not the best day to make important decisions regarding your life path, but give yourself space and time to feel anything that comes up and express your feelings with the important people in your life. Capricorn, today you could learn some news or information that leaves you feeling tender-hearted when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. Conversations today can be empathetic or even change your perspective. You are really putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Now, it's also possible that you're dealing with some travel snafus today as well. So if you are going to the airport or commuting to work or something like that, make sure you pad in some extra time. Aquarius, you might find that you are in your feels today when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune. It can be really easy to let your relationship with some of your fears, guilt, or shame win out and to let that negative voice in your head grow. So if you find that this is the case, this is going to be really important for you to do some grounding exercises and to regulate your nervous system however you best prefer. Give yourself time and space to feel what is coming through and be curious about what it can offer you and why those feelings are coming up once again. Pisces, you are one of the main characters when the moon forms an opposition with Neptune in your sign. Other people might be magnetized to you today. You are magnetic and charming and alluring. But at the same time, you are going to be subject to other people's projections of you. They have ideas of who they think you are in their head. And sometimes this can lead to disappointment. So if you find that other people are putting you on a pedestal today, maybe call that out. And this can also be a great day for compassionate and tender-hearted conversations. As always, I hope your daily horoscope has offered some guidance and support throughout your day. And if you can't get enough of this podcast and want more horoscopes, I invite you to join me over on Patreon, where every Sunday you gain instant access to 7 episodes of your daily horoscope for the week ahead, a weekly psychic reading, a monthly tarot spread, and a monthly meetup, which ranges from group tarot readings to group mediumship readings and circles to ask me anything about your personal birth chart. These group monthly meetups have been a real highlight over the past few months, and I am enjoying them so much. There is a link in the show notes to join. It is only $10 a month. And I hope to see you there. As always, I'm sending you love, protection, and blessings in every single dimension. Thanks so much and see you tomorrow.